All right.
I'm the one.
Welcome to our. Okay, you want to go? Yeah. All right. All right. Welcome to OurBad. Today we are sitting down with Joe Biederman and Mike Fisher. Mike, I don't know you actually super well.
I don't know you well at all.
Yeah. Everybody loves you.
Oh.
Like everybody I know fucking loves you.
All three of them.
I don't know.
But I've never
I
I say hi to you and stuff, and I've been to your roast, but I don't really know you very well.
Yeah. And we live so close to each other.
Do we? Do you live on the west side of
Well, yeah. I live in Fond du Lac. I don't live in the Lakeshore area, but I spent a lot of time here prior to sobriety.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think I had a little PTSD pulling on your street.
I can imagine. It's an area.
Deja vu.
I don't know. I have cameras all over the house. I don't know if you guys noticed.
I did.
Yeah, you've got to in this neighborhood. I got like 3 doors down. I'm almost positive she's.
I noticed there's a camera right here.
Yeah, there's a camera there. I got them in the house too.
You never know what
does
could
get
go
past
on.
those suckers. And,
Yeah, in the house. But no, I'm really pleased that you two are doing this because I think y'all complement each other well. And between the two of y'all, you know quite a few people, and I feel like that's going to make this podcast a success.
I hope so, man. It's exciting. It's fun.
Yeah.
So I just want to give a shout out to all the people who checked out the last video. I noticed right before I came in we had 300 views.
Whew, nice.
So people.
I was one of those.
Thank you.
Joe Peters. I know Joe Peter forever,
Yeah,
bro.
for a while.
We used to live together a long, long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to know more
Tradition
about
House
that.
resident.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Decade.
Yeah.
A decade ago.
I teased Joe that
We were both way rounder. Both of us.
I'm pretty sure, like, Joe would go to work, like, early in the morning, like, I don't know, like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I know there's a few times that Joe saw me riding my bicycle, like Lance Armstrong, to get to, Pokey's house.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'd be on my way to the labor pool. Michael Fisher would be on his way to Pookie's.
Yeah. I promise you that exchange happened multiple times now.
I'll probably like head nodded at each other.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was like,
Don't look at me. Yeah.
They got beds at Tradition House.
So you guys know each other from the streets as well, or?
Not the streets. No, actually, I don't know anyone that I got high with in Jacksonville. Is that so? Tell me, this is a sobriety podcast. We're going to talk about drugs.
Yeah, for sure. Everything.
Talk about I'm an alcoholic. I'm an addict.
I'm an alcoholic and I'm an addict.
All right.
What? Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually an adaholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. More. Just give me more. More of it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
More of that coffee, more of the
Never
energy
really
drinks,
cared for
more-
the stuff myself.
Oh, yeah. He's an angel. Sweet little angel Matthew.
Yeah. He's a gambling addict and sex addict.
That's right, porn.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
All right, I did drugs, guys. I did
Just got
drugs.
real uncomfortable.
So now that we clarified that, I don't really know anyone I knew from the streets in Jacksonville. I was getting high in Tallahassee, and then kind of moved over here. Kind of a weird story, but then didn't know anyone, and then very shortly after moving here, started my program of recovery. So I don't really know anybody from those days in Jacksonville.
So you mentioned Tallahassee. I remember there's like y'all have a connection, right? Through
Well-
a place in Tallahassee or something.
We actually, like, kind of, our friendship, the genesis of it was really in Tallahassee. Now, we had seen each other in the Mandarin YPG meeting quite a
And
few
in
times.
Chicago.
And in Chicago.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, for the international
Yeah.
YPG conference. But it wasn't until I went to a meeting in Tallahassee, because my sister lives in Tallahassee, and Joe was there, looking very smug in the background. And he's
That's
like,
what I do.
hey, dude, I know you. You should come sit next to me. And I was like, all right.
I remember it differently.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you probably remember the way it actually happened.
Yeah. So I don't know about that, but I remember we were in Chicago. We were at the International Convention. We didn't go together. You went with some YPG folks. I went with David Stead and this other guy who I don't think's in the program anymore. And so like there was this moment out at the smoke pit, and this guy comes up like super confident. I'm like, who the F does this guy think he is? You know, just being cool, hanging out with Brock and like all those guys.
You are like very cool.
Yeah. I think I said hey.
I try.
Yeah, I think I said hey, and you were like, okay, whatever. Let me go talk to this guy. So that was my first impression of Michael Fisher.
Nerd.
Yes, exactly. Still a nerd.
Yeah.
And then I'm in Tallahassee, and like, yeah, I'm like, pretty sure that's the guy from Chicago, David's friend, and so yeah, came up to you and was like,
So,
you're in Jacksonville.
international convention, what's that like?
Whew, man,
Lots of fornicating.
lots of fornicating.
Oh yeah.
Check
Go on.
their ID first.
Yes, please. One of my buddies who will go anonymous. After the first day, I'm hanging out by the pool. His buddy's there, and I'm like, "Hey, man, where's our other friend?" He's like, "Yeah, he's not doing so well." Really? What happened? He's like, "Yeah, well, he just found out the girl that he's been macking on for the past like 36 hours is actually 15."
Fuck.
So he's going to be in his room for the remainder of the conference, and so yes, that's YPG in a nutshell.
Oh, it was YPG International.
Yeah.
The international conventions in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm. Those are for the old geezers.
Yeah.
Which apparently
We are.
that's us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all. I'm 42 now, man.
Yeah.
Fucking
You look great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate
I'm
you.
44.
Are you?
You look fantastic.
Theaters. How old are you, Mike Fisher?
Moisturize.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'm 47. Fuck.
Yeah. You're crushing it though. You don't want to know my first impression of Mike Fisher? I met him through Chris Colcord.
Yeah.
And he was, this is what I'm saying, he's cool, right? He's a cool dude. The first time I ever talked to him, he's talking about sunglasses and like these certain type of sunglasses that he like suggesting that I should get. And I'm like looking at him and checking them out. I'm like, these are fucking cool sunglasses.
Did you get them?
No, I never did. I couldn't afford them.
Oh.
What kind were they, Mike?
Chris Colcord has the same pair, and you guys both had them. And I was like, and he was like, because I was talking about Chris's. And he was like, actually, Mike introduced you to these.
Were they? They were probably electrics.
I don't know. They were.
Yeah, with the lightning bolt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those the?
I don't remember. It was years ago. But that was. Then I was like, who's this curly haired guy that's so
I'm
cool
gonna
and
get you a
tan?
pair of those electrics. So don't
I
you
rocked
worry.
the Shady Rays.
Oh, you look shady
Thanks.
for a Ray. Yeah.
You look great, man.
You do. Look
I love the beard. You look so good.
You didn't tell us how old you are.
The baby.
46.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm 38.
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
I'm just a baby.
Oh. Well, you have experiences that most 50-years wouldn't have.
Yeah. I always say like man, I've like had enough fun in life that I could just like not have fun again, and I've had my share. I mean, I want to have fun, but fun like has a different definition these days.
I think I've
This
just
is
been
fun.
so miserable that everything seems fun. Like, if you've been homeless and, like, rock bottom, like, anything seems better than that. So, like, every day is such a good day.
I do love that.
So speaking of fun and things that are fun, let's talk about disc golf.
Oh, what? You guys like
Great
disc golf?
segue, dude.
What?
That was good.
Well done. Way to dial us back. Yeah, so, Joe, you want to tell them about how disc golf is something that you're passionate about? Or how you became passionate about it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so my story was I was at Tradition House. There's another guy living there, moved out shortly before I moved in. But he was still coming to the house, coming to the meetings, the Wednesday and the Sunday meetings. Dave Stead. And he, he'd come in, get on the porch, and be like, anybody want to go to a meeting or go get some food or go play some disc golf or whatever, right? And so I basically said yes, and this was kind of a change for me because in my recovery, I'd been trying to do this thing for 4 years and I wanted nothing to do with the people of AA. Like I wanted AA, and I saw that like people, like lives got better and, they got back in touch with their family, but I didn't think that like I was one of us, right? So like this time around, really one of the only things that was different was like I started hanging out with AA people, and so David was one of those, Paul Shearer was another one of those, and so the experience we had was a lot of people new in recovery are often underemployed, right? So they may have a part-time job at best. So they've got a ton of time on their hands. And, and you can't go to 5 meetings a day, right? I mean, you could, but, like, what's the point in that? So you're going to 1 meeting a day, that's an hour. Maybe you stretch it to 2 hours, driving, stuff like that. But, like, you've still got a ton of time, right? And so, like, what we filled our time with, we found, is, like, things that were cheap. Cheap to do, and fun and kind of competitive. And so kind of disc golf was just the perfect balance of that, right? Like, you don't really need any money to get into disc golf. Go to any disc golf course and probably find one like in a creek or anywhere, and it's super accessible. It's at public parks. You don't need to, right? So there's one right there. There's a disc right there.
There's a disc right
I
here.
I do know that there's guys who have lots of discs that are more than willing to let you use one. I've experienced
Absolutely.
it.
The 2 people he mentioned, also very cool.
Yeah.
Like, the coolest. David Steed is, like, hands down. He's cooler than you, Mike.
He's pretty rad.
He's
he was like the king of AA. I recognized that very early. Like, at that convention is when I settled up to him. I was like, play it cool, Mike. Play it really cool. This is Dave. He's clearly the president of AA.
Obviously.
I should have said, I'm here with David Stead. And then you would have been like, oh, wow.
This is my in.
This is the nerd.
Yeah, who would have thought? Okay.
Wow, you must be.
Is that
must have
like
something going
whenever
on.
you're at like a bar and then you see the pretty girl, but then you like go at the unattractive friend?
Oh, that's your.
I'm the
Is
unattractive.
that your MO?
It's called Joe. I think
That's your attractive friend.
I'm definitely the unattractive friend to David Stead. Yeah.
And then,
Hot girl.
Okay, so disc golf's cheap.
It's cheap.
You can find
Inexpensive, please.
I apologize. Inexpensive.
and then there's a physical benefit as well, correct?
I think so.
Get out in the
Like
sun, have some
exercise,
fun.
sun,
Exercise is huge. It's beneficial to everything.
Yeah.
compared to like eating.
So you guys got a tournament
people
going on,
in
right?
AA.
Wait, do you work out, Bobby?
A little bit.
Okay.
And I'm kind of into it, Actually, like, so you've got disc golf. I have the gym. That was my thing, because that's also something you can do. It's inexpensive because it can get expensive, but that's if you take it like I do. If you go fucking crazy with it, but like people like wake up and meditate. I wake up and go work out and meditate.
Yeah.
Like the gym is so like.
Yeah. And it helps you sleep better too, right?
It completely changed my mental health. When I first got sober, they're like, you have all these mental health problems. And I was like, maybe I'm just coming off of drugs. And they're like, no, you need all these drugs. And so, like, they gave them to me, and I was like, I hate this. And I started working out, and, like, I'd read about different supplements you could take that would kind of do the same thing. And if you were working out, like, a lot of times the bipolar would go away, the depression. And so I just, like, and I don't recommend anybody doing this, but I stopped taking all that bullshit. Started taking, like, fish oil and vitamins and, like, different things. And just working out, and all my mental health issues just fucking went away. Wow. And that's real. That's fucking real.
So Bobby, we were talking the other day, and you were talking about like, how us as humans were like, we used to have to fight for our food.
Correct. So we live in like a really weird time in society as humans, where everything's given to you and brought to you. You don't have to struggle or try and really get anything, especially food. And our bodies were designed to run from big cats and predators and hunt and find food and be very, very, very physical. So putting kids in a classroom and making them sit still and then having them watch TV and play video games all day is so counterproductive, and I think causing a lot of the mental health issues in society.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. Matter of fact, I am now 46 hours into a fast.
Nice.
So if I start getting aggro by, the second hour of this podcast, you'll know why.
It's a Protect Our Parks episode.
I like getting angry.
So I know Mike goes to the gym because while I'm out slaving away, spreading asphalt, he drives by with his beautiful wife and his beautiful truck, and he's like, "Hey, leaving the gym."
Yeah.
That happened. I was on the street by his gym. Or something.
Dude, if you haven't seen Matt in the Wild,
I've not seen him at work, but I hear everybody does.
it's comedy gold. Like I think he took a few of Jason's digits off the other day, like with the dump trailer.
Yeah, it's possible.
There's always something going on.
OSHA is not watching this, by the way, are they? Clearly. I mean, they were all wearing hard hats. I know. That was the good news.
Dude, he was so stressed out about that. I was with him like when that day. Like I think we were at an Alco meeting.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Oh man, Jason was cutting concrete right in front of the OSHA building without a hard hat on."
Yeah. They're like, it's like committing a crime outside like the FBI headquarters, like robbing the bank across the street from the FBI. That's
pretty much
what you were doing. That was great.
I feel like Matt wants to change the subject.
Yeah. Moving on.
I mean,
disc golf.
it's just
Right.
Michael,
Yeah.
tell us about your introduction to disc golf.
Disc golf, same dude. You know, Dave Stead and Rocco. They were like really, really good at it. I just wanted something to do during the winter months because I like to be outside. You don't have to convince me to do something outside. But I was sailing my Hobie Cat a lot. And when it got cold, it was less pleasant. So I wanted something to do outside during the winter months. And, you know, I went and played disc golf with Dave Stead and Rocco, and I was like, I could get behind this. And I did. And then I sucked at it for, until, last month.
Nice. Finally got
it. I feel like I'm like a novice now.
So what happened last month?
Well, last month I won the Cock Regal, the 5th annual.
The Cock Regal, you say?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fucking Catalina wine mix.
Exactly, right? It's kind of the Catalina wine mixer of disc golf tournaments. But it's something that we put together during COVID. We were supposed to go to Rock Eagle. We tricked Chris Colcord into thinking he was going to Rock Eagle. And I rented this badass van. And 6 of us, Paris King, Adam Johnson, Dave Stead, Jason Bowen, Chris Colcord, we all got in this van and drove north, and we played all these disc golf courses along the way, and we named it Cock Regal because it was not really Rock Eagle. And eventually Chris got wise to we were not going to a men's workshop. Yeah.
Eventually. By the third course.
Yeah. So when is check-in? Yeah. But that's how I got into disc golf. And, after my home group, we go and play. We take new guys, and we turn a 1 hour, 18 holes into 3. But it's a lot of fun, and the guys, they're outside, the endorphins are going, it's great. So knowing that and Joe's experience of it, we wanted to implement this to the whole sober community of Jacksonville. And how can we take this passion and help the whole sober community benefit from it? And that is when Joe rather, came up with the idea of the Dare to Disc tournament, which we held our first tournament last year, and it was so successful that we're all willing to go through the pain again and do it again.
Nice. How many people did you guys have last year?
Well, we probably had about 100 people. The whole tournament was full, and it was a sanctioned tournament, so we had people from outside recovery playing.
All right, nice.
But it was mainly as a fundraiser for the benefit of 2 sober living houses, 4th Street and Tradition House.
All right, very cool.
Yeah. Joe and I are both on the board of Tradition House, by the way.
I lived at Tradition House for years. 4th Street. I lived at 4th Street too. I got arrested at 4th Street actually.
Hell yeah.
7 a.m. I had just gotten back to Jacksonville. I don't remember if you remember Monica. Do you remember Monica? I was dating this girl, Monica.
I remember you talking about
it. But I run down south with Monica, and it got real bad. And so Stephanie Patton paid for me an Uber to the Greyhound, and then my aunt got me a Greyhound. I came back to Jacksonville. I went to detox, got into 4th Street. I let Monica know where I was. Promptly the next morning, I was arrested by the police for an outstanding warrant.
Wow.
So we don't know how the police found out where I was, but a little birdie told them.
Yeah.
We're actually going to have Monica as a guest soon.
Oh my gosh, she's actually doing really good. I love Monica now.
I don't know who she is.
No, she would never come here and talk.
I was hoping to get a different reaction.
She barely responds to my text messages. So.
Barely.
But she's doing
wait
good.
till you blow up.
No, she don't. She's happy.
So
Stephanie
Joe,
Patton's awesome though.
That's my homie.
We
were just talking about her. She agreed to come on. She's going to come on.
So Joe, how did you explain to me the thought process and execution, how'd it go down for last year?
So, one thing that did impact us too, and he mentioned Parish King, was a good friend of ours. And
Also very, very cool.
yeah, very
So cool.
Yeah. And there was a group of guys who all got sober around the same time. And it was this fellowship that formed, and Parish King was very much part of that fellowship. And he passed away, a few months before, when we were still in the planning phases of this whole thing. So like this year, I've kind of, with the direction of the team, we've kind of made it in memoriam to him.
He's the CEO.
Yeah. So the trusted servants, right? So I'm kind of the point person for this whole thing, but I do not absolutely want to be a dictator. I want this to be something that everyone that volunteers feels like they're a part of, and everyone who shows up and feel like that this isn't Joe's show, right? I want this to be everybody's show. So when I had to think about like positions and teams, thought, well, let's make Parish the CEO, right? Leader in charge. And kind of direct this thing into like what would Parish do? What would be the that direction? And so I'm the assistant to the CEO. I'm just trying to implement and carry out what he's that memory. The idea was, yes, it was what we're already doing, right? What we're already doing, which is picking up new guys. What the Spiritual Nights do really well is they get people who are new in recovery, and they take them out for, like you said, exercise. Super important for mental health. Super important for early recovery. Get some sunshine, a little bit of competitiveness. I think that was so important for me is to beat my friends at something.
It's fun.
It's really
Yeah, to see their tears.
Yeah. That's why we got sober, right?
Yeah.
I need to hydrate myself with your tears.
Yeah, so that's the mission. And so we set up a nonprofit. The nonprofit is called Disc Jacks, and we put on an event every year that's called Dare to Disc, right? And so Dare, kind of a play on words, but DISC is the acronym, DISC, which actually means Dudes Impacting Sober Communities.
That's strong.
That's the DISC.
Can you say that one more time? Just let it sink into the audience.
Dudes Impacting Sober Communities.
Wow. Boom.
Fire.
Yeah. And I had very low expectations. I thought why Michael Fisher is a founder is because I was like, he'll give me $1,000, right? Like if I chip in $1,000 and he chips in $1,000, we're at least not going to lose money, right? Yeah. So that's kind of how it started. Was hit him up. I said, hey, you're going to be founder of this thing. I need $1,000.
Sucker. Got it.
My little side business threw in $1,000, and really we thought maybe we'd raise a couple hundred more than that and maybe break even. And so we had a dinner, and then we had the actual tournament, and because of our incredible team of volunteers, we were able to raise $25,000. And so this year we're going to try to double it. I think we're going to try to raise.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
So if you're out there and you're listening to
exactly,
this,
whole sponsorships are $500.
And you're in a position to sponsor and you want to help dudes impacting sober community.
How can they get a hold of you guys and to donate?
Facebook.
Well, I'm actually taking a sabbatical from social media at the moment.
Well, so get on the Facebook page.
Okay.
Actually, Matthew is managing our Facebook
The Facebook page is under something else, though. What was it under?
Disc Jacks Incorporated.
Disc
INC.
Jack. All right.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of joining the, I don't know what you would call it,
Planning committee. Last
year I was a volunteer. I had some cones and I helped line up DJ Combustible, our guest from last week, and
he was great.
He's got some really big speakers compared to last year.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so this year we're actually looking to change the venue from Clutho Park, Springfield, which I know is dear to us all. Who hasn't spent it overnight at Clutho Park, right? But we're going to move it to, I believe, to the Grove, which is the old Orange Park Country Club.
I think we might go actually to Springfield.
We might go back to Springfield.
It's
Yeah,
I thought
news. I thought that was what I heard.
It's very fluid. Never mind.
Yeah, so here,
unreliable source of information.
Yeah, but this is good to talk about, right?
Yeah.
I think this is great to talk about. So the Grove, we do want to shout out to the Grove, right? We would love for them to be a sponsor, and so we need them to listen to this podcast.
Yes.
Get involved. So the Grove is the Orange Park Country Club. It was closed for, my understanding, 6 or 7 years, and they converted the golf course to a disc golf course, right? Which
That's really cool.
I haven't heard about that happening before.
No.
I mean,
I think disc golf's,
yeah.
It's the new pickleball.
It's
It
it's
kinda
pickleball
is.
too, yeah.
it's the new golf.
So this actually happens more frequently than you think, a lot, because it is very expensive to upkeep a golf course.
Yeah.
And they found a way that all these failing golf courses, hey, they can actually generate some income, and we can cut down on the expenses on it by, letting the grass grow taller and not fertilizing it. And all of these communities have like disc golf associations who are more than happy to go out there and plot out a fun disc golf course. And that's basically what happened there. They have put some money in. The infrastructure's nice. The clubhouse and everything out there at the Grove got renovated, and they're offering memberships to people outside of Jacksonville, or pardon me, Orange Park Country Club. But that is a pay-to-play space. So it's I think it's like $5 or $10 to play around there. But Clutho, free. I love Clutho. It's probably the most beginner-friendly course in Jacksonville.
And centrally located.
Where else can you play a game and watch someone smoke crack?
Right.
I mean, come on now.
Right.
We're right there in the
right there.
yeah.
You're just in it, like playing some disc golf.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And honestly, that's the reason I think we chose Clutho, is because of the mission of like, we want you to be able to take the bus or walk to here and help us with this. I think I want to have something at the Grove. I really do. I think it's a great venue for something. I just think for this, the idea of the field day to get people newly in recovery, I can't logistically figure out how are we going to get everyone out to the Grove. Plus, it is still a country club that has residents, right, from the gated community of that
Orange Park Country
that
Club.
suburb,
Yeah.
right? The suburb, which you
You
go
just
in.
got a bunch of
Yeah,
people
right.
walking around their
Yahoos,
backyards.
smoking heaters, right?
And I'm telling the owner this. I'm like, I don't think you understand. And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. Wear shorts. And I'm like, vapes are okay? He's like, yeah, vapes are okay. I'm like, dude, I didn't want to say this, but I'm like, people will be getting high in your bathroom. I'm sorry. But you will never let us back in if we do this field day here.
Yeah.
And the mission, I don't want to stray too far from, at least the second year, is keep it super accessible. We want to give out discs. We want to give you a free disc. You may not be sober today, right? You may still be smoking crack under the bridge, but maybe, you get sober tomorrow, and now you got a free disc.
Yeah.
You can't sell them for much. You can't take
Yeah,
it to
there's a resale on this maybe $3. $3.
And so, and listen, a common thing you'll hear in sobriety with newcomers, I'm bored. They think they're bored. There's nothing to do.
Mhm.
And, there are things to do, fun things to do. And even if you're not like that into it, because I went with them a couple times, I might have, threw a disc once or twice and been like, oh yeah. But I just enjoyed hanging out, fellowshipping, and not being at a restaurant, because that gets old. And then you get fat,
There's literally a brand new disc golf course that opened up like 1 block from Matt's house.
No, it's like on my street.
I got him to play 9
Nice.
holes once. It was awesome.
Nice.
Chris tried. Chris got me to go a couple times. And he
I'll
tried
do it
for
if Bobby
long.
does it.
He would try all the time, and I'm
At the gym.
Yeah, I gotta go to the
Now
gym.
you can get Chris to go to the gym.
Chris looks great. Chris looks fucking fantastic.
What is the
I'm
deal,
like,
right?
what?
Like, okay.
I fucking look crazy. But yeah, I wasn't very good at it. So
Well, you're gonna suck for like a year, and in my case,
I
like
still-
7 years.
Listen, Mike sits at his house and watches the disc golf channel.
I do.
And turns
is
out,
that
I
a
didn't know
thing?
that was, yeah.
I mean, there's so
They
many
got their own
channels.
satellite and everything.
It's
man.
serious.
Yeah.
It's like they taught the lingo, the people, the players.
Well, it's worth mentioning the Tom Brady of disc golf lives in Jacksonville.
What?
Yeah, he moved here 2 years ago.
Oh my God!
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me more.
But he signed a $10 million contract with Discraft, I think. Yeah. His name's Paul Macbeth. He lives off Pittman.
All right.
Yeah.
Give us the address for the.
Well,
What's his social security
there
number?
are resources, coj.net, that you can get it from. But yeah, it is a wildly growing. I read in Forbes magazine, of all places, Forbes covered this. They said between the year 2019 and 2020, I believe is the figure, the number of disc golf courses in the U.S. increased by 70%.
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. Now, obviously, if you have 5 disc golf courses, now all of a sudden you have 15.
That's
kind of
huge.
but it's a great thing. Like municipalities have found out, like, hey, we have all this dead space. What can we do with it? And they're like, tell the disc golf guys, and they'll come and they'll nerd out all over the area and put in a course. And it's pretty inexpensive to start up. Concrete's probably the best.
First time I ever played disc golf was with my brother in Tallahassee, probably almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Tom Brown Park.
Yeah, Tom Brown Park. Was that where it was?
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Brown.
They had a tournament there, like a PGA tournament.
Yeah, they did.
So, it's been around for a while.
It was on his disc golf channel. You could watch it on his disc golf channel.
You have your own channel?
No.
That would be fucking cool.
I'm getting there. Give me a week.
After this podcast, maybe. Who are these two guys?
Well, actually, that Tom Brown Park is one of the highest rated in the state, if not the highest rated disc golf course in the state. That's cool. That's where you started, Matt. Yeah. Now Matt just goes out there and he pounds a whole bunch of rain, like energy drinks.
Speaking of rain, hold on. I heard you shit on rain and you never had one.
Oh, no.
Bro, I'm not going to say rain's not good. I'm just saying there are better options.
What you got there, Bang?
No, dude. This is
Ghost.
baby.
Oh, they are.
I'm a rain guy, too.
Yeah, 300 milligrams of caffeine, bro. Let's go. That's
Celsius.
2.
I like Celsius, too.
Them ghosts hit, though. They do hit.
Yeah, ghosts are good.
Dude, the Celsius, my wife pounds 2 of those a day. I limit myself to 1 of these a day, and I don't get the jitters or anything like that. I love it.
I was up to 3 rains a day, and I had to.
3?
I started Googling, is 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day bad for you? Turns out it's not ideal.
It's not super good, yeah. I have a real bad caffeine addiction.
One when I wake up, and then one in the evening before I go to a meeting or.
They came out with all these studies that show taurine gets you bone cancer. So thank God I don't drink Red Bulls.
What is in here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it just tastes delicious. They make their own cereal, bro.
Ghost.
Ghost cereal.
Get you all jacked.
Yeah, dude.
Kids are eating bowls of cereal just
with their soy milk, why not?
We need kids and starters for kids, like energy drinks, like Capri Suns. Caffeine in it.
My first energy.
My first.
Ray, you hear this? We got ideas.
I think that was Mountain Dew's business model, wasn't it? Get a code red, kids, before you.
What was the Surge? Remember Surge? That was the first energy drink.
It was.
Fucking go.
Right?
Yeah.
I remember Surge.
Splooge.
Surge was something my mom would not give me. Fruit roll-ups and Surge. I have those 2 things.
What was wrong with the fruit roll-up? They got fruit in them.
Too
What's
much
wrong with
sugar.
that?
Too much sugar, I guess. Yeah.
You got them.
Surge in general put a warning on it.
When did you have your
It
first
came
fruit
back
roll-up?
out. Surge came back out.
When did you have your first fruit roll-up?
Oh, 3 or 4 years old, probably.
Do you remember it?
No.
When you would get
you
one,
eat
was
it?
it a big deal? If you
Yeah,
got one
we
at
got.
school or
He
something?
was like, I have arrived.
We'd go to the grocery store with my grandma and she wasn't wise for a little bit because we go every time. I'm like, Mom, can I get some fruit roll-ups? Come on.
Yeah.
We get some fruit roll-ups. She's like, no. They're always on the top shelf, so I couldn't get them. I could see them.
And all the cool kids at school had the fruit roll-ups.
Fruit roll-ups.
Dude, right? They cut out animal shapes.
Yeah, exactly.
We did not have.
Fuck them, man.
We didn't have those in my house for sure.
Well, you
Snack
have
selection was limited.
the Kirkland knockoff.
He's a rubber.
My dad would go to the grocery store, and when he went grocery shopping, we'd all get a Nestle Crunch. That was a big. That was a big deal.
I like your dad.
Yeah, he's cool.
We need to stop talking about food, though. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's start talking about food.
Let me get
All
back
right.
to my coffee.
Mike Fisher, what do you do for work?
Believe it or not, the same thing I was doing in active addiction. I am a licensed mortgage loan originator, but 5 years ago, my wife and I, we got tired of splitting our commission with brokers, so we just made our own company.
Oh,
And
very
now
cool.
we own a mortgage company.
What's it called?
fucking Nice.
It's called Warwick Funding, after my English ancestor, who was the Earl of Warwick. He had Joan of Arc burned at the stake. It's kind of his claim to fame.
All right.
This got
That's your-
dark real
that's your-
quick.
That's your ancestor?
Sorry for the Catholics out there. Yeah, that is my ancestor. But yeah, so, and I'm also a real estate agent. But my wife and I, and we actually employ one other guy. He's in the program too, Tim Bassett. Shout out. If you want to go shoot some firearms and then talk
Yeah,
mortgages,
I know
go
Tim,
hang out with
yeah.
Tim. Yeah,
Ah.
he's great.
Cool.
He's great.
All right, very cool. Joe Biederman, what do you do for work?
I am an office manager. Have probably the most boring job you can think of.
He loves it.
I love it. I do. I love it. I love where I work. I love what I do.
What kind of office do you manage?
So we have 5 or 6 all over the state. So I'm director of facilities. I do all facilities. I do all the fleet stuff. Manage all the trucks. Fleet of like over 100. I do a lot of the contract stuff. So anything
Land development.
that comes through. We don't really we call ourselves consultants basically. ETM.
Yeah.
All
Any major development around here has got their
Is ETM.
yeah.
Pretty
It's
much.
got their
All right, very cool.
There's chances that our companies might have worked together then. 'Cause
Yeah.
we,
probably.
Certain.
we do a lot of infrastructure and those developments,
Yeah.
like laying the pipes and
You guys are doing the small diameter pipe stuff for the city of Jacksonville?
the what?
The small diameter pipe program? This is gonna go. We're going off
Yeah.
topic.
Matt's just
Sorry.
gonna lop off
Never
digits,
mind.
you know. Yeah, he's just over there cutting hands off of people and
Let's talk about
like, please stop.
Let's talk about the opioid abatement fund. You know,
Uh-oh.
What do y'all know about
I
this?
don't know.
Yeah, okay,
So,
so
okay,
Inform me,
I know.
tell me.
tell me what you know.
So if it's what I'm thinking, there is an amount of money allotted through a lawsuit
Mm-hmm.
against maybe Purdue or one of these big pharmaceutical companies, and people can apply for some of this money for their establishment, if it's a sober living, a rehab, et cetera, et cetera.
That's cool.
Is that what it is?
That's exactly what it is, man.
Okay,
Wow.
I thought I have a friend who's involved with it and told me about it.
Nice.
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's cool.
Yeah, so the Sackler family, the owners of
Oh, yeah, they're great
Pharma.
people, you know?
Yeah. They got the DOJ like sued the shit out of them, and it amounted to this enormous settlement, and it got doled out by the federal government to the different states, and there is and it's distributed in the form of grants that address the opioid crisis. In either 3 different categories. One is support, one is prevention, and the other is recovery, or what is it? Recovery. But so I've really for the past year been like doing a deep dive on this and trying to figure out ways that we could benefit from it. Because what I see now, the distribution goes mainly to these large outfits, like. Oxford House, these big national Gateway
Places that already have tons of funding.
They have a considerable amount
Yeah.
of funding, yes, but there's no like local like what are we doing like to for Jacksonville itself to benefit from it, and
Gateway does great work though.
they do great
They do,
work. Yeah.
555 Stockton Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've all been there probably.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I worked there.
Once or
Yeah,
twice.
yeah.
You work there?
I worked there for like 2 years, man.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I was their maintenance guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, how y'all had the thing like y'all probably crossed paths. I probably like saw Bobby with a broom. Like I
wasn't a fucking janitor, bro. I was a maintenance guy.
Yeah.
I did occasionally sweep stuff up.
Custodian.
Like,
yeah.
he had a screwdriver.
It was a drill.
I was like, that a pipe can hit that? It was a screwdriver.
I literally YouTubed everything. I was like, they would just give me power tools, and I'd be like, I don't know how to do this. YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Great.
That's so amazing. I did like so many things I didn't know I could do just because I had power tools and YouTube.
And you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a good Brandon. Y'all are familiar with y'all know who he is. He's the master of learning things on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah. I think they have Mercedes outside on YouTube. Yeah.
I think this podcast
Shout out YouTube.
is put on YouTube.
What?
Did we just segue into that?
I honestly, I love YouTube. Like when it's my turn to have the remote and I'm popping open YouTube.
I love YouTube,
and
man.
I just like, and there's always new stuff happening. You know, Netflix is cool, but I love a good 3-hour long podcast.
Yeah.
I just watched Joe Rogan and Anthony Kiedis podcast. It was like 3 hours long.
Anthony Kiedis, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Wow.
Yes. And he was speaking the lingo, man.
I listen to Joe all the time.
Yeah.
love
the
Rogan.
recovery lingo.
Did he talk about his 15-year-old girlfriend?
No.
Or, pardon me, she's way 18.
I was actually
by
like...
now. By now.
It crossed my mind when I was watching it. But, you know.
Well, this podcast, I think, is going to be wildly successful, and you don't need the star power of Anthony Kiedis when you got
Mike Fisher.
Well, that's for you to say, not me. But the sobriety community around Jacksonville is just full of great.
So many people, bro. That's the only reason this might work.
So
my only reason, nothing to do with me or him, just the people we know.
My hope and goals, and if you're watching this and you can help with this, is that we can eventually spread out to another recovery community. You know what I mean? Like, I have friends of mine who have moved to, like, Pensacola. You know, we know people in Arkansas, different places, and then they tell their friends, and who knows, we get an out-of-town guest one day.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to fly him in like a speaker. Like,
Yeah.
like, set him up.
Let's go.
You should
Bobby's
invent-
house.
You should invent Anthony Kiedis.
Hopefully one day I won't be here. I'll go somewhere else. So the world doesn't know where my living room is.
This is a studio, bro.
That's right.
This is nice production value.
You like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby did this thing when he set this up. He sent me the picture, and I was like,
It's so
that
janky,
works.
bro. It works, bro.
Well, listen, I've been on one other podcast before, and this is about it.
Yeah.
You guys have got it down. You got tech. Look at this microphone.
we just put all the stuff here.
It's
He's got a printer here. Who uses
I
a printer,
had
bro?
all this. Listen, Matt is the one that pulled it out. I told Matt because I bought all this stuff like a year ago, dude. Because I was working a project management job for this guy, and it kind of fell through. But I was like making a decent amount of money last year, and so like I was like, I'm gonna get podcast equipment. I started getting it, and I just couldn't fucking figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to do the video and the audio and just make it work. And so me and Matt were sitting at Alco, and I was telling him, and he's like, I bet I could do it. I bet I could figure it out. He's like, you really got all that shit? And I was like, yeah. So we came over here, and he figured it out in like an hour.
That's amazing.
Literally like an hour. I was like, we've made more projects in an hour than I have in a year.
This is nice equipment too. I mean, look at that.
It's all right. I mean, it's all off the Amazon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that river that you can order stuff from.
Flows north.
My wife has heard of Amazon.
Everything, right? You can
Wow.
order.
Yeah.
Shout out Amazon.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff. Dare to Dis. We need sponsors.
Yeah. OurBad podcast needs sponsors. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll start there.
So that'll be the step one day, I guess.
Yeah. Opioid abatement funds.
Yeah.
So
So when is your disc golf tournament? What's the date? Did you tell me?
The big date is November 22nd.
Okay.
That is the big date, the weekend before Thanksgiving weekend.
Okay, is there like a cutoff for sign up? Or is it like you sign up, can you sign up at the door? Like,
So the tournament will be, we will have a sanctioned tournament.
okay.
That will be capped probably at 70 people.
Okay.
But that is just going to be that's going to be to get the disc golf community involved. There is a lot of overlap between recovery community and disc golf community. But how we did it last year, the schedule was before noon we had what we called like a fun throw. And that's where we just show up. Here's a free disc. And then this guy we know, Thomas Eden at Par on Disc Golf on...
Shout out Par on.
Monument. Is it on Monument or McCormick? One of those two.
Sure.
By Ed Austin Park. Look it up. You got Google, right? If you're listening to a podcast, you got to freaking Google. So just look it up.
East Arlington area.
Yes. And so he did a little class for us. He said, okay, this is what we're going to do. You're going to try to throw like this. Then we had stations, right? And so you went to a station, you figured out how to do a flick, because there's one where
Forehand,
you go this way.
backhand.
There's one where you go this way. You know, and so everyone did like a quick little 3-station tutorial, and then we said, you got a free disc, here's a little, like a coach, right? And then go out and have fun for a couple of hours. For that, there is no cutoff. The cutoff is show up at 8 a.m. on the day of, and you'll be involved. We want you to be sober. We'd appreciate it if you be sober, not necessary. We just want you to have fun. We want you to get a little bit of exercise. We want you to get some sunshine. That's it. That's all we want.
Nice.
Yeah. We're gonna 12-step a lot of like actual disc golfers while we're there. So I don't know if you've seen most of these
This is
guys,
actually
but
an
they're like,
intervention.
hang on, let me put my beer down. And everyone's like, cool, yeah, put your beer down. And you're like, here, hold this for me, and it's like a pipe, And you're like,
Do you burn, bro?
I've heard some really cool like disc golf stories. I've heard of people that were just out playing disc golf and met y'all.
yeah, I got a sponsee that way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this dude from the Navy, he was like 3 months sober, and he was playing behind us, and he had on like this stupid shirt that was like, something about like some don't do drugs, something weird from a church or something. I was just like, oh, cool shirt. I was like, well, believe it or not, we all feel the same way. And then and he's like, yeah, well, I stopped drinking like 3 months ago, and it's just, is it hard? And then like my buddy Fletch is like, oh no, man, you gotta do the 12 steps, and he just like butt rushed. Take it easy, man, easy. Let's traction, promotion. Like let's play some disc golf. And
You need Jesus.
yeah.
Let me tell you about my God.
Yeah.
Here, let's pray.
We should all, guys, stop. Put your disc down.
We're gonna have a meeting right now.
Just form a circle around.
Yeah, it was not quite that. But it was going there. Anyway, he meets me in the parking lot afterwards. He's like, hey, man, so tell me about, this AA thing you guys do. And I was like, you want to know more about it? Show up to Spiritual Nights on Sunday.
Spiritual nights.
Yeah, it's spelled with an N, by the way, because we meet in the morning.
Okay. Sunday when, where?
9 a.m. Java.
All right.
That's my home group. Joe, his home group is From the Heart,
From the heart.
the predecessor.
Yeah.
So at some point,
But
I
please,
believe
go to- if
they
you're
were
really-
all like one group and they
Yeah.
became many or something.
Yeah, but honestly, Spiritual Nights has got it figured out. They do so much service work. They have a group of guys who are amazing. You can definitely get a good sponsor there, and you can go play disc golf afterwards, right?
Yeah.
I go to From the Heart because that's what I've been doing for years. I love it. That's where I belong. But I definitely would encourage you to go check out Spiritual Nights if you want that excitement, that big crowd kind of feel. It's a great group.
Yeah, there were 107 dudes there
Really?
last Sunday. Yeah.
Nice. 107?
107.
Big fucking meeting.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And I think it started out with 100 people total. The whole
It's
movement.
Started with
That-
that?
and
Oh.
that, yeah.
Oh, you mean AA.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you
100 strong.
the original
It
preamble.
started with two dudes, really.
No, the original. By the time they wrote a book, the original preamble is like we were 100 men and women who have recovered. Something like
I think about that all the time, like what it was like back then, like, when a sponsee's like, oh man, I can't get to that meeting, whatever. I'm like, what the? These guys back in the day, they would have to wait till like Tuesday when the one meeting was held,
I
and
bet
it was
those
like
meetings-
50 miles away.
I bet they were so cool.
Yeah. Well, they're getting in their Model A, and they're driving down some dirt road, for 30 miles to pick up the other guy, right? And then they're going to drive another 50 miles to go to that meeting that week. And like, here we are, dude. We just like, oh, there's a meeting, like,
Zoom it.
30 minutes, winners,
Yeah.
6 blocks from here.
Yeah.
Or Zoom it.
Yeah. Or do it on your fucking phone. It's
Yeah.
crazy, or your computer.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Tougher. Everybody was tougher.
They were.
Everybody was tougher. And we all get weaker every generation. Like, I know that our generation was like, this generation's a bunch of weak kids, but I say the same shit now. Like,
Yeah.
20-year-olds?
Yeah.
Fucking pansies, bro. No offense to you 20-year-olds. Some of you are okay, but
Yeah.
most of them, a little...
Yeah. I'm not trying to hang out with them.
So the idea behind the book, right, was like they needed to reach out to folks who would call in or
Yeah.
write in, right? So like people they were getting some press, some attention, and they would get letters, right? Like, I'm interested in your movement. I think I have a problem with alcohol. And so like the book was an idea to respond to those letters. So there was one point where there was one guy in Jacksonville who had an AA book,
Yeah.
right? And he had no meetings, and he had no one else he knew about, and all he had was a book, and that's how it all got started in every city across the country. Yeah, and like you think about that, like you can get sober with just the book. I mean, for me, it takes meetings, it takes having a sponsor. For me, it takes fellowship, like all that stuff makes it easier. But the idea is, you and that book and your higher power, you guys can do this thing.
It's a good book.
It's a pretty good book.
It's a good read.
It's a difficult read. Especially when you first get sober, like, here, read this doctor's opinion. Like, what the fuck are you got me reading?
I just heard someone say this, and they referred to a sponsor as an interpreter, and I think that was
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Because I know me, like, I was given the big book long before I got sober, and I remember thinking how eloquently it was written.
Yeah.
And I remember one time me and this girl we were out late doing some dry goods, and she had been in the program, and I was like, oh yeah, man, like, and we brought out the book, and we just started reading it while we're high as kites. And we were like, oh, my favorite part is this. It's the most bizarre thing, but that actually happened.
That sounds pretty awesome.
But I mean, that's the power of the book, man.
Absolutely. And that is good, interpreter, because dude, for so many years I sat in AA meetings and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Oh, it's like a foreign language.
And I wasn't going to ask because I didn't want to look stupid. Like, I don't know what the steps do. Like, I don't know what that means. What does that mean, take an inventory of myself? I just didn't understand.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm too stubborn to be like, hey, what the fuck is going on? So I'll just sit here and I'll eventually figure it out.
Start memorizing some of the slogans other people say.
Yeah.
And I think about that when I'm sitting in a meeting. I'm like, how many people are in here just keeping their mouth shut and they have no fucking idea what is happening?
Yeah.
And it's so many people.
I consider myself like a pretty smart person. I thought, I said at least I knew how to like read books. I was like pretty good with like, English.
You knew how to put this shit up.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
Come on now.
But, when it came to that book, it was like Old English, how they taught in the 1930s. There's still words in that book that, like, I don't even know what they mean, and I won't even realize it because I just read over them. And then, like, when I'm really, like, dissecting a paragraph or trying to explain it, I'll just, like, have to look the word up. I'm like, oh, wow, I had no idea what that word meant.
Yeah, so whoopee party, Matt,
whoopee
is when, a bunch of dudes get together with a bunch of girls.
I know what making whoopee means because I used to like.
It's basically a Diddy party
on Family Feud. You remember on like old Family Feud episodes? They'd be like, "Making whoopee." I was like, "Mom, what's making whoopee?" And she was like, "Son, let's talk about the birds and the bees."
I probably
that didn't happen.
I probably wouldn't know how to say the word anonymity if it wasn't for AA. Like, honestly, because like in the beginning I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like reading it, like Eminem.
When the newcomer does it, I was just like, all right, don't hurt yourself. we know it.
Yeah, we know what you got.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what was your, Mike Fisher, what was your breaking point? When were you like, I'm done, dude?
Shortly after that, me and that girl being, I think that actually happened that week. Yeah, man, I just went on this really long run, and I just closed a really big transaction. And my runs always ended when the bank account said zero. And I just closed I'd had more money than I'd seen in a long time. And after like 5 days, or probably 4 days, I finally got like a few hours sleep, and I woke up and there were like leftovers, and that like never happened. I was like, normally I would say like I should probably drink some water or something. I just went right back at it, and I got, and like, dude, my heart about came out of my chest, and my eyeball like came out of the socket. I was just like totally, yeah, dude, I was like totally geeked out like immediately. And I knew I wasn't gonna live that day. I knew I wasn't going to live that day, and all of a sudden, at like 4:30 in the morning, my phone rang, and it was an ex-girlfriend, and she's just like, and we hadn't talked in like a month and a half, but I had this terrible dream about you. I'm really worried about you. I just need to know that you're okay, and I just got honest, and I was just like, I'm not okay, and I'm really scared, and she said, okay, I want to come and get you, and she called in to work and called my other friend. They came pick me up, and they took me to what's the VA one? Wakaiba. Yeah.
It's the one I went to last time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and at that point, it was just like, I was fortunate that there was a plan for me getting out of Wekiva. It was like I was not going back home. I was not, passing go and collecting $200. I was like going straight to treatment. And I went down to this place in Gainesville that a gentleman went to. I knew personally, and he had been sober for 2 years after leaving there. So I knew they had an answer. And I just went in there and I was just like, I don't know shit. Y'all know. Tell me what to do. And that.
Were you out of ideas?
I was out of ideas. Well, I just came to believe that like I did not know the answer, and I truly believe that these people did. And dude, you go into treatment, dude. There's two kinds of people, right? There are those who are there to fuck off, and there are those who want to get like, dude. And I immediately recognized that, and I was like, I'm gonna roll with the Dave Staggs and the dudes who are doing the deal.
Very cool.
Yeah. That was my end.
All right, Joe Biederman.
Raccoons.
Yeah, raccoons. So, yeah, I'm known. I always wear raccoon shirts and have all kind of people give me raccoon stuff all the time. And this kind of the story behind that was I was homeless, living in the woods across the street from the Big Bend Homeless Coalition, and I'm not good at living in the woods. There was guys that had like former army, and like they had like multiple tents and tarps, and like their clothes were on like a string hanging up. I don't know, what do you call that? Just
Clothesline.
Clothesline. Yeah, a string. It's the same thing. And so like I had nothing. Like my best idea was like I had a broken patio chair and I was sleeping next to the fire, like in the clothes that I'd been wearing for days. Like that's me living in the woods. Like it's just not. I'm a video games and living indoors kind of cat. I'm not an outdoor cat. And and so like I had some bagels, right? Because you go to the Homeless Coalition and they give you free food and it's day-old bagels. And for some reason I was going to keep these day-old bagels, and I get woken up by something crawling on me in my patio chair next to the fire, and it's a raccoon. He's going for my bagels, right?
Damn.
I know. And so I'm like, wake up. I'm like, this is a wild animal. He's on me, basically, touching me. So I'm like, I kick him away. I'm like, all right, because I think wild animals are easily scared.
Scram!
Right? And he was not easily scared.
Bowed up.
He was not leaving. And, and so like, back and forth with that. And so I would jump up and I'd try to like run after them, and they'd go back a couple feet, and then they'd just sit there, wait for me to go back to sleep, and then come for my bagels again. And I don't know what happened, but that's what I remember is just trying to scare these raccoons. And they were raccoons, more than one, not being scared of me at all. And we were in a fight for our lives for these bagels, which I probably didn't even eat them. I mean, they're hard as rocks. I don't know why, but it was principle. I wasn't giving up my bagels.
Yeah.
That wasn't my bottom. That wasn't even close to my bottom. I went for years. And
How long were you homeless?
Off and on. I mean, my strategy at some point would be to go to a place like Gateway, a detox place, right, and find other people to run with, the opposite of the David Steads, the people who were not there for the right reasons.
Connections, yeah.
Exactly. Find some more phone numbers, go on another run, right? I had food stamps, I had an Obama phone, like I knew when my food stamp day hit, like that was party day, right? The opposite story of him, all the money, and hadn't seen this money in a while. Like, no, I had no money, I had no family, I had nothing, right? And I was still going on these runs, denial. And I would actually check myself into treatment, so like at some point I knew treatment was better than what I was doing, but I would always get out of treatment and I would always go back to that old way. There was some kind of reservation in my mind, right? I thought at some point I will be able to smoke weed and drink like a gentleman again. Maybe I'm going to stay away from the heroin and all the other hard stuff, but like I still want to be able to smoke weed because I've been doing it since I was 15 years old, right? And so I had a sponsor. So I'd moved to Jacksonville, and I had a sponsor, and he was, I was living at Tradition House, and I was getting high. For probably a couple of weeks, and we were going to Java Club. He was taking me to the noon meeting, and I thought I was like pulling it off, like sober and getting high, right? And I don't know why I just claimed clean to him. I just said, "Hey, I've been getting high." Like, no shit, Sherlock. Everybody can tell. Like, you're not fooling a person.
You're not now.
You're exactly. You're not fooling anybody. And I was like, oh wow. And so there was no like bright light moment for me. Like, I think I just had enough. I knew, there's reservations, and I'm not gonna be able to figure out how to successfully do anything at all. And so that's where I actually just started like getting phone numbers and working the steps and just doing the deal. And really, I'm still a one day at a time kind of guy, right? Like, I'm not concerned with staying sober for the rest of my life. I just wake up with the mission of let's stay sober today. That's worked for like 10 years. So
10 years.
Love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, right.
And Mike, you just picked
9 years.
Fuck yeah.
Joe's like, he's in that meeting. They're like, well, really? You'll know I'm high? Yeah, these Jacksonville people are really sharp, man. They need to go back to Tallahassee, man. They never would have figured it out.
I didn't do in Tallahassee.
Yeah. I managed a sober living house for a little while, and yeah.
It's 4th Street, right? Yeah.
I had a lot of experience on the other side, so like I could definitely. But there would be people in there like doing fentanyl and thinking they were hiding it.
That's a tough one to hide.
Yeah.
You can't take Visine and play it cool. Yeah.
The part where they're like wandering around, they don't know where they're at. Like,
Well, the super deep raspy voice too, like.
SoundCloud rap.
But I relate to I lived in the woods and I had a lawn chair. There was a tent, but the girl in the tent smelled really bad. So I was like, I'm just gonna sit out here in this lawn chair. And it was like, it gets creepy in the woods at nighttime, especially like with the drugs I was doing too. It was not a fun time.
Yeah. If it wasn't for those guys, I wouldn't even have had a fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was.
Just in the dark.
I would have sat in the dark
with the raccoons.
I used to go and sleep in this church parking lot, and they had a AA symbol up. So like I knew a little bit about AA. I knew what the symbol was, and I was like, all right, well these guys like they have AA here, so they'll get it. And I would just like sleep in the cut in the side of this church on St. John's Bluff, and then I would like someone would show up, and I'm like, all right, it's time to get moving. Just keep moving around. The first night, okay, check this out. The first time I ever actually slept outside, I went to Gateway and I met this guy, and his name was also Matt. Not like also James.
Right. Is that what we call him? We call him also Matt.
He was a trip. He was from Atlanta, and he had been homeless before. He knew how to be homeless, and I was familiar with Jacksonville, so with our powers combined.
Yeah.
Voltron taking over the world, bro.
This girl was like, hey, because they had gotten rid of smoking. She's like, get us a pack of cigarettes and just go hide it under the thing, and they gave me money, and I was like I'm not doing that. Like, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to sneak stuff back in the Gateway. So instead we went and got some alcohol. So that night we ended up sleeping behind a racetrack, and that morning there was a lawn maintenance company there, and this guy was like weed eating, I guess, and they were just working around us like but they hit a fire ant pile.
Oh.
And so I woke up to a fire ant alarm clock. I mean, by the time I realized what was going on, I had to take my clothes off. And that's kind of what being homeless was like for me. It was never like a pleasant wake up. It was always like, hey, get the hell out of my property. What are you doing here? Or the cops, like, all kinds of stuff.
Cops and wildlife. That'll keep me off this.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, though, like hearing that you were like at meetings, like fucked up, like that's the last place you're gonna find me.
Oh yeah, I disappear. If I relapse, I'm gone.
Yeah, dude. No way. And there are some dudes who do, and I'm just like, man, isn't that awful? Like, that's like hell. Like, I remember hell being like waiting on the dealer. Like, I'm 2 days into a dinner, and the dealer said he's going to be here.
Just fixing to pull in.
Right.
Yeah. I've been sitting in my driveway for like 2 hours now. My neighbors are like, what is going on with Mike today? Like that, I always equated to hell. And then now my vision of hell could be like being head full of AA and a belly full of booze, right?
Yeah, it's not fun.
I remember being like 19 when I first got introduced to 8-8, when I literally had no idea what was going on. I was just sitting in a room not listening to anybody talk. You know what I mean? I was just in this room waiting to get my paper signed. I would be drunk in those.
Yeah.
Like fucking waiting to get my paper signed. Like not giving a fuck, just get through this hour. But I had no idea what anybody said.
It's the longest hour.
Longest hour of my life, bro.
I was in there like judging everyone. When I was 17...
I'll never be like these guys.
No,
Turned exactly into those people.
I'm pretty sure I became worse than like these guys probably weren't even that bad, and I was just like, man, these guys are crazy. Like I'm 17 though. I think I have it all figured out. I was in drug court. I was at the beach, so it was a meeting. I don't know, somewhere. I don't remember where at the beach exactly, but the place was like right across from it. And yeah, I was definitely going to him drunk. But I had to. It was like a...
But that was before I actually had recovery, you know? Like, now it would be different. Yeah, I would feel like... Like, even if I relapse and, like, I'll come back and I haven't picked up a white chip, I'll just stop picking up my time, you know what I mean? Like, I'll just stop and nobody... Like, I did it for, like, a long time. Like, I just stopped picking up chips because I, like, felt guilty because I knew that I had relapsed. It was a long time ago, but... Fuck, man. And then I just disappear once, like, gone. See ya.
That's me. That's why I tell these guys that come back, they have there's nobody I respect more than a guy who goes back out, comes back in, reinvigorates, and does the deal and starts putting
It's so hard, dude. It's so fucking
those
hard.
Are, and I respect that so
much,
man. Like that is that is the pinnacle of respect I can have for anybody in this program.
Like come back, because it's better. It's so much better.
Yeah, but it's hard. Right?
It's so hard.
Yeah.
But it's not hard.
When I went
it is,
out,
but it isn't.
I had a little bit of time and went back out, and I was just like, definitely, I understood the whole saying about a head full of AA and a belly full of booze. I was like hanging out with people and like, yeah, it works if you work it. Like, I kept saying that, and they were just like, man, Matt, you need to go back to rehab, or like they didn't get it. They didn't know, like, they're just like, yeah, wherever. And that's how I knew I had changed, because they were like, you know, like, I did work the steps, you know what I mean? And I did change as a person. I just started, I was like, man, I don't think I want to do this anymore. Mm-hmm. So my bright idea was like, how do you quit? Or just,
fucking quit.
Yeah. And I knew immediately I made a mistake, but it probably took me I was thinking about it, like, probably like 5 months.
To come back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to come back a couple times.
Now you're like a pillar.
I don't know if you remember.
Community.
I came to Spiritual Nights, and I said, like, today when they said sobriety date, and everyone clapped, and I was just like, oh my god.
Listen, everybody's so nice when you come back. Like, even nicer than they were when you have a lot of time.
Some people don't make it back.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like,
we're genuinely happy to see
it's not a revolving door, because a revolving door implies that you're always going to be able to come back. And the reality of it is, I've seen a lot of, especially when you are clean and sober and you go back out, because you don't have the tolerance that you used to have. Yeah. And especially like with the stuff nowadays, I've seen people, I had a friend that was an alcoholic, I didn't even know he messed with drugs really, and died of a fentanyl overdose. He got real drunk and was like, oh, I guess I'll try that. That sounds like a good idea.
Living in a tradition house, we saw tons of non-revolving doors.
Oh, yeah. So many people have died. So it's so sad. And, like, people that I think are doing good. Like, I had no idea Raymond, like, I know. Like, I thought Raymond was doing good. I'd just seen him. And, like, he was just a drunk, too. It's such a sad thing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Tradition House, though, there are some big changes going on in Tradition House. Next week.
I love Tradition.
Yeah. Next week, the new manager starts.
Okay, who's that?
His name is Zach, and he has been... Yeah, and he's...
Oh.
Yeah, he's been in recovery for, like, in the industry for, like, 3 or 4 years now.
All right.
Yeah, from Beaches. We wooed him.
Mark is retiring.
All right.
Yeah, thank you, Mark, for leaving the place in such great shape, too. It's like really passing of the torch is what's happening, though. And we have some big endeavors. We want to really bring Tradition House off its island and make it a beacon within the sober community of Jacksonville, which we think it can be. It should be.
Yeah, it absolutely should be.
Oh yeah.
It's the nicest freaking.
It's hands down the nicest halfway house in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That you're not going to pay. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's like privately owned things that don't. You know what I mean? Like, but like tradition, like the food was so good. Oh my god!
Yeah,
I lived there back when Billy was the cook.
Billy was.
You don't even
Steak Fridays.
Oh, Meat Sweat Fridays.
Meat Sweat
Oh,
Fridays.
I loved Meat Sweat Fridays. Bro.
Bobby would have like 3 steaks stacked.
What?
So,
Yes.
savage, bro. That was the best thing about it. And desserts, all the fucking
Always.
sweets and bullshit.
They
you
always
could
get
eat.
snacks. Yeah.
Cakes and drawers of candies and like
They
what
don't-
is it? I'm
they don't got
so
drawers
fat
anymore.
there. I'm so fat.
We got to bring the drawers back.
There's no drawers of
No
candy.
drawers anymore.
Oh,
right now.
Like,
I lived there around the same time y'all did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I love how.
I was hanging with the people that weren't doing the right thing.
Okay.
Oh, you found those guys.
Yeah, I had a whole room of them.
Second floor.
Quite an experience.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
I lived there for a long time in the apartment across the street too.
That's
So
what I
like a
was
lot of people would live in the house, and I wouldn't even know they lived there.
Do you know about the genesis of that house? The 4 units across the street. So back in the day, like in the early '90s, the guys would get kicked out of Tradition House, and then they'd just go and rent one of the apartments across the street because you could rent for like a week or something like that. And then they would just sit there and like heckle all the dudes across the street, like going into Tradition House, and they would just like that's all they did all day. Every day. It was just like heckle dudes going out of Tradition House.
Now they're drinking, getting
Yeah,
fucked up.
idiots. You know, like so the board at the time, they were like, we got to do something about this. So they managed to get a city grant and buy the place across the street. The owner, they approached the owner. He's very friendly, and that's how they got the 4 units across the street.
So the Springfield version of that is just Sammy's. You know, Sammy's is a little corner store.
Yeah.
Just it'll be sitting in front of Sammy's. So if you're going from one place to the other,
Mm-hmm.
you have to pass it. And
Is that across from
Oh,
the
when
city
people
house?
get kicked out, they
No,
just
no,
be
no,
sitting
it's
in Sammy's.
in between.
Yeah.
It's in between Fourth Street and Alco on Main Street.
Or Alco, yeah.
Right by
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that little store right there.
Yeah.
That store gets wild.
I bet.
I've had some experiences there. Like, I've never like been up to no good there, but I've like encountered some characters.
Yeah. Some
I used to
nefarious
avoid
things.
it at nighttime.
Oh.
Like I I had the attitude like, oh, I was lived on the streets. But had an experience happen. Saw a guy. It's a long story. Basically, some guy was just about to get beat up, and I was stuck in the middle of it because I was helping gifts jump their car.
Oh. You were doing service work.
Yeah,
Solid.
they were on the
Right?
side of the building. It seemed really sketchy. Like me, I had Jonathan with me, and we were like, I was like, man, the vibes are weird here right
He's my
now.
favorite.
I'm gonna stay in the car. And this guy came up, and he was like, he seemed legit. Like he did need to jump. But some old drunk guy came walking out and walked by the group of dudes. They're hanging on the side of the store. Like, fuck you.
Hell yeah.
I was like, did he really have to do that? And then he started yelling racial slurs, and I was like, man, I need to get out of here.
It's about to pop off.
He pulled a knife out, and he came in our truck, and I'm like, yes.
Downtown Jacks, bro. Let's
Yeah.
go.
And that was sober, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I've lived a lot of places in my life, and like right there by the homeless center, when you're driving through downtown Jacks, like that's
It's
wild, bro.
Yeah.
That's wild. The way they're just set up there.
They're really working on reinvigorating downtown Jacks, especially with this new stadium they're about to build. They have all these plans for like a walk-through park on Laura, and I don't know how it's supposed to work. I don't know what you do with the homeless population to make it,
Anyone from the Downtown Investment Authority, if you want to come on the podcast and explain what the real plan is, we're all.
Oh, I'd love to hear it. Yeah.
Springfield's getting pretty nice. They're succeeding in there. The gentrification
It
on
is
popping.
Springfield has gotten
It's way different
incredibly
in the past
better.
2 years. Like, I'll be out there and like, I don't know, you'll see like girls jogging, and I'll be like, I've never seen that before.
Wow. A girl jogging.
That's how you know the community's
Yeah,
better.
Yeah.
like river, like
Yeah.
a riverside
Right.
feel.
Yeah. Hipster.
No, if someone was running in Springfield when I lived there, someone's chasing
They were-
them.
Yeah, like
Right,
7 years
yeah.
ago when I first came to Jacksonville, Springfield was a little different.
Yeah.
This is a true story. I was sitting on the porch, like on 4th Street, we would sit on the porch a lot, and to see weird things that would happen, but this is the craziest thing I ever saw. This girl was at the end of 4th Street in Maine, and she's like, runs up, and she's like taunting someone. She's like, ha, you can't get me. Like you couldn't hear her, but that's what it looked like. And then she took off running, and then there was an old guy chasing her on a bike with a chain, and he was swinging around like this and saying, come here, you little crack baby. And it looked like something off of Mad Max. And then he couldn't catch her, so she was just getting a kick out of stopping so he'd catch up and then take off again. And I was like, did that really just happen?
Taunting him.
Yeah.
With his chain.
He had the chain.
Like a medieval mace.
A big,
like
thick
knife.
chain, and he was swinging it like a lasso.
Galloping down Main Street. Wow. Well, that was not an experience I've had in Springfield. I'm always trying to sell properties in Springfield. I'm like, oh, it's great. You know, that's why it's $500,000. Never mind that next door house, or the one across the street, or the one behind it. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
It's great.
Yeah.
Early, you're going to be one of the early people to get in here.
Emerging
Everything
market.
skyrockets.
That's right. In 10 years, this house will be worth $5 million.
That's right. Buy low.
Have you had success in Springfield?
I have, actually. Yeah, I've sold quite a few properties. And the thing about Springfield, though, is like every house has to be tented for termites.
Yes.
Every 10 years. Without fail.
Really?
Yeah, you can see the termite swarms like coming down the street. And so you can literally see that.
They tended 4th Street because of that reason.
Yeah.
They found out when I was living there.
So is it just like a infection,
They're old. They're
just everywhere, so like they
years old.
come back?
Yeah, they'll come back. They'll move from house to house, and you look at some of these houses, you're like, what the hell else are they going to eat on it?
Yeah.
But this wood is like 100 and some odd years old, so it's like really
Delicious.
Good. Yeah,
it's fucking aged, bro. Let's get some.
So
they're like flying in from other cities.
Let's go to Jacksonville. You're fucking
vacationing in the Springfield area. Yeah. So, but you definitely have to do that to every house.
Do you tell them that before or after?
Well, I encourage them to have a home inspection, and with that home inspection, they have a wood-destroying organism report.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, they're doing a government loan. They gotta have that.
An MDOR?
MDOR. A what? Wood-destroying organism report.
A WDOR.
A WDO.
Yeah, what do y'all call it in the industry?
A WDO, like a pest inspection.
We know.
I hate working with first-time buyers. Sorry.
You should be in WOD, wood.
Right.
You should call it a wood.
You know, one day I'm going to be a first-time buyer.
Yeah, and Amy's getting a real estate license, so she'll find you the house, and I'll just provide the money. That's how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tag along.
No, provide money sounds good. I like that.
He's a much better realtor.
Much better. She gets all excited and she's like, "Look, gutters," and you're like, "Yeah."
I love that. Well, I think we're good, man.
This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. Were we entertaining?
We have any burning desires?
Is there anything you guys want to talk about that we didn't touch base with?
I wanted to know if you guys could get one guest, like the ultimate guest, who would it be?
Fucking Joe Rogan sitting right
Rogan?
here. Or Theo Vaughn, one or the other.
Theo Vaughn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just because Theo Vaughn is a fellow meeting attender, so.
Yeah, maybe Theo would be good, yeah.
Theo Vaughn, I like that.
There are some pro disc golfers who are in recovery too. I won't break their anonymity, but yeah.
Well, we want everybody.
Yeah.
So
that would be cool too.
I like that this is a space for like people in recovery. I don't think it's a coincidence that both y'all are in recovery and you're doing a podcast.
Yeah, and so it's not like recovery themed, but that's our lives. So
it's just going to be intertwined in it. You know what I
Sure.
mean? It's not going to be a podcast about recovery, but fuck, we're all sober and we're all fuckheads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Every one of us. So.
And it's starting to seem like it's cooler to be in recovery. I mean, I don't know if it's just cooler because I think it's cool now, but I feel like even in like media and mainstream, like with the epidemic, like you talked about the opioid epidemic, it's not as glamorous anymore.
It's not, man. Like seriously, like the 20-somethings, they like you smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like.
So what about this opioid abatement thing? Is there?
Well, I've made it my mission to get these funds for Tradition House. I found a way I can package it that's going to basically be doing the Dave Stead operation, like you drive around to several living houses, picking up dudes and be like, you're going to go play disc golf with me. You know, I'm basically going to Shanghai a bunch of drunks.
Or, so if you don't want to play disc golf, we can go to Springfield and pick up trash instead.
Well, we're going to do that.
Up
That's
to
going to be
you.
part of the deal. You don't get a
Yeah.
ride home unless you got a bag,
Yeah.
trash bag full of garbage.
We're gonna
so
do
we're going to do
service.
service.
All right, nice.
We're gonna have fun. We're gonna do service.
Yeah, and that is the way to package it. But it has to be run through Tradition House, which it's going to be great.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bobby,
Yeah. What's up, Matt?
you got any last minute requests?
Listen, go check out this disc golf tournament, guys.
Another thing we can mention, we've brought up spiritual nights. We do have a Founders Day coming up.
Good.
Nice
Mike's like
segue.
the president of it.
No, Matt is
Do you give more details other than...
Yeah, we're
July
getting-
19th.
July 19th. Starts at noon. There's going to be a speaker. There's going to be barbecue provided by Carolina Jacks.
Nice.
I don't know.
Put it on my
Sponsorship.
spreadsheet.
Shout out to Carolina Jacks.
Shout out to Carolina
July
Jacks.
19th.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
July 19th, noon. And
Is it
there is a
noon?
cornhole tournament.
And that's a Java, yeah?
That's at Java.
All right.
Thank you.
Very nice.
It starts at 2.
Okay, it starts at
And
2.
by 12, I'm in 2.
Yeah. I mean,
Food
you can
at
show up at
2.
12. It's all about the fellowship. You know, help
Yeah.
set up. Come on, let's
Yeah, these cornhole boards aren't going to like erect themselves.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, and also, one last thing. So, for Dare to Disc, if you're interested in coming, and if you're a newcomer, even if you're not, if you want to be there to support other newcomers, it's a great thing all around. It's a good time. Or if you're interested in volunteering and helping, I'll put a link. I'm gonna put a link on the YouTube thing.
Click
That'll
it.
Tech
help
guy.
you get to the page, or it'll pop up on the screen, something like that. But yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Listen, I really appreciate you guys coming.
November
Sit down with us.
22nd.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah.
It's great to like finally have
Yeah, man, I
like
like-
an in-depth conversation.
For sure.
More than about sunglasses.
Yeah.
I want to get you a pair of sunglasses. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Matt, you got your blenders. You'll be all right. Your Shady Rays.
You're super cool, man. I knew you would be. And Joe. I love you, Joe. I have for a long time. That's my homie.
Yeah, we don't see each other that much, but when we do, it's like we already. It's like,
Yeah.
you know,
You
right
guys
back
want to
at
go
it.
throw some discs?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Bet.
Do we have to applaud for ourselves?
Ah.